Our warning letter? Derek, our warning letter?
No, it's
Call the meeting to order. Ask everybody to stand for the prayer led by Pastor Dylan Davis with Stone Chapel Church, and then remain standing for the pledge.
Lord, we thank you for this city and these government officials and the citizens here. And we pray as we do business tonight that there would be unity and harmony here, that you'd bless the city of White House. And God, I just pray that your hand would be on us, that we would see your favor and your blessing here on us and our posterity as we build something for your glory. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mayor Corbett. Here. Alderman Matthews.
Here.
Alderman Silver.
Here.
Alderman Spicer.
Here.
Alderman Wall.
Here. Need to adopt the agenda. Do we got a motion?
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Second.
All right. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Need to approve the minutes from the May 13th joint study session, May 14th study session, May 16th regularly scheduled meeting, and May 23rd special called Board of Mayor and Alderman meetings. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I'd like to welcome our visitors. Thank you all for coming out. We've got a proclamation to give tonight. So, Mandy?
I knew my husband wasn't here.
In a decade.
Yes. A really long one. It looks like it all happened today.
All right. Whereas Mrs. Mandy Christensen has served with unwavering dedication and excellence as the CEO and President of the White House Area Chamber of Commerce since June 17, 2014, marking a decade of exceptional leadership and commitment to our community. And whereas Mrs. Christensen's nonstop, creative, and meticulous work ethic has not only been instrumental in the growth and success of the Chamber, but has also significantly enhanced the economic vitality and quality of life in the city of White House, a testament to her profound impact on our community. And whereas through her tireless efforts, Mrs. Christensen has empowered our community, fostering a supportive environment, not only for businesses, but also for the citizens of White House, strengthening the bonds that unite us all. And whereas Mrs. Christensen diligently manages monthly luncheons, numerous ribbon cuttings, like today, and networking events, providing invaluable opportunities for business growth and community engagement. And whereas Mrs. Christensen thoroughly organizes and executes the Chamber's annual events, including the Chamber Chairman Celebrations, Golf Tournament, Fall Family Block Party, No Filter Girls Summit, and Jingle Mingle Around Town, further contributing to the vibrancy and unity of our community. And whereas Mrs. Christensen's visionary leadership has helped bring to life cherished annual community events in collaboration with the City of White House, such as the Americana Celebration, Music and Movies Under the Stars, Discover White House, Christmas on Main Street and Parade, which have become beloved traditions enriching the lives of all who participate. And whereas under Mrs. Christensen's guidance, the White House Area Chamber of Commerce has seen significant growth, reflecting her commitment to excellence and her profound impact on our community's prosperity. Now, therefore, I, John Corbett, Mayor of the City of White House, do hereby recognize and extend our deepest gratitude to Mrs. Mandy Christensen for her 10 years of outstanding service and leadership. Her dedication and passion continue to inspire and uplift our community, and we look forward to many more years of her invaluable contributions. In witness whereof, I have hereto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of White House to be affixed on this 20th day of June, 2024. Thank you so much for all you do. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
move on to our public comment tonight. We've got Ms. Vanessa Baker. Ms. Baker, go ahead.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Board of Aldermen. My name is Vanessa Baker. My family and I moved into this Covington Heights neighborhood back behind the police department on Good Friday, 2010. Exactly 1 month later, as we prepared to leave for church that Sunday morning, our driveway and garage were flooded with over 2 feet of water. Having just moved into the house, we lost our library of books, all our childhood keepsakes, and my husband's Harley. During the week-long cleanup, we removed damaged drywall that had flooded and discovered that our home had previously been flooded, but this was not disclosed to us before we purchased our home. 5 years later, during the first week of July, another strong storm moved through our area and we were flooded again. My husband was out of town working in Alabama at the time. I was home with 3 young children. I woke up to the smell of gasoline in our home. The floodwaters had tipped over our gas cans in the garage. The White House Fire Department was knocking on the door to make sure we were okay. We lost our family car that time. Soon afterwards, as a result of inadequate and damaged stormwater drainage throughout our neighborhood, a large sinkhole opened up in our neighbor's yard, necessitating a massive repair job to repair the drainage culvert out in front of our house, the damage to my neighbor's property, including the repair of her driveway, her mailbox, and residing her entire front yard. To date, we have received no compensation for the damage to our property. Most recently, on June 8th of this year, just over a month ago, our home was flooded not once, but twice more. We lost a second vehicle. So this is 2 vehicles and a motorcycle at this point. This was my daughter's car. We lost our appliances, several thousands of dollars in carpet and other miscellaneous items that were stored in the garage. We weren't the only ones. We know of 7 other neighbors in our neighborhood who sustained similar damage to their property, including one disabled man who lives behind us. His elevator that he uses to access his living quarters was also damaged. We have 2 simple requests from the city. Please fix the problem. We know you're aware of it and we know that you're working on it, but we've been waiting for 14 years and we've been flooded 5 times that we know of. Not only do we continue to experience damage with every round of storms, but my husband and I would like to build a house at some point in the future. This is going to negatively impact any resale value that we have in our home, not to mention the fact that we have to disclose this to any future buyers. Number 2, after 14 years and 5 floods, as I mentioned, we have never been approached by anyone from the city of White House for any sort of reparation or compensation. We are out, like I said, tens of thousands of dollars at this point. We've had to replace the vehicles ourselves and all of our losses. These are losses that were a result of either a lack of proper planning years ago, shoddy construction, or a combination of both. Someone is responsible for the damage to our property, and we're asking the city of White House to make things right. Thank you so much for your time this evening.
Thank you, Ms. Baker. Everett Baker? You're good? Okay. Nobody else signed up to speak, so we'll move on to public hearings. Resolution 24-05, a resolution to annex certain territories and incorporate same within the corporate boundaries of the city of White House, Tennessee. We got a motion? Oh, no, sorry, it's a public hearing, so nobody signed up to speak, so we'll move on to Resolution 2407. An initial resolution authorizing a loan agreement with the Public Building Authority of Sevier County, Tennessee, in a principal amount not to exceed $11 million to finance the construction and improvement of roads, streets, bridges, and highways, and payments of the cost incident to the financing. No one has signed up to speak to that one, so we'll move to Resolution 24-08. A loan resolution authorizing a loan agreement with the Public Building Authority of Sevier County, Tennessee, in a principal amount not to exceed $11 million to finance the construction and improvements of roads, streets, bridges, and highways, and payment of the costs incident to the financing. Again, no one has signed up to speak to that, so we'll move to Ordinance 24-04, an ordinance to amend the zoning map from Sumner County Residential to General Commercial C2 at 170 Old Highway 31W. No one has signed up to speak to that, so we'll move to Ordinance 24-05, an ordinance to de-annex certain territories within the corporate boundaries of the city of White House, Tennessee. No one has signed up to speak to that. Move to ordinance 24-06, an ordinance adopting the annual budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2024, and ending June 30th, 2025. Again, no one has signed up to speak to that, so we'll move on to public hearings to communication. Alderman Wall?
Again, Mandy, thank you. You've done a wonderful job over the last 10 years. Ms. Baker, we were out today, myself, Public Works, Stormwater, we are on it. And we're gonna try to do what we can to make something change. So, we're not sure at this time what it's gonna be, but we're working on it, I promise you that. So, we're not gonna forget it. That's it.
Alderman Silver?
No.
Alderman Spicer?
I don't have anything. Thanks, Mandy.
Alderman Matthews?
I would like to thank Elizabeth, her staff, and all the volunteers that hosted a wonderful Phantom Fair on June 8th. We had a great turnout. I think everyone had a good time, and they worked very hard to put that on.
They do, and it's grown, I think, every year. It's incredible. So, yeah, I second that. Good job. City Attorney?
I don't have anything.
City Administrator?
Yes, sir, I have a few things. The splash pad reopened today, plus, the new recirculating tank is working much more efficiently than the one it replaced. Families have been here all day enjoying both the splash pad and the playground. Soccer complex is still under construction. The stone and asphalt binder are nearly finished. All the underground wiring for the light poles is finished. Most of the parking lot light poles are up, but not yet operational. The material for the pavilion is on site, and we expect that they will get some of the concrete, sidewalk, and curbing in place before our event. Final concrete and asphalt top will be done most likely after the Americana event. All said, we are confident we can host the Americana event at this site. The weekend after the Americana celebration, the Soccer Association will be hosting the 3v3 soccer tournament. This is usually a very well-attended event, and we have expressed our need to the contractor for the use of the parking lot for both events, so they have agreed to work around our schedule. So we're going to get this all done in the next probably 4 or 5 weeks. We're starting to catch our breath from the nonstop reports of rainwater damage to properties in the city. It's been horrible what people have had to go through. Our Public Services Department is fully engaged in reviewing each complaint and prioritizing projects. Our number one concern is finding solutions to keep water out of residents' homes. The department has been putting a project list together, and we'll publicize the list on our webpage. So that concludes my report, Mayor.
Okay. We need to acknowledge our reports. We have a motion.
Motion to acknowledge.
All right, second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Consideration of the following resolutions. Resolution 24-04, whereas TCA 6-51-102 as amended requires that a plan of service be adopted by the governing body of the city prior to passage of an ordinance annexing any area. We discussed this last meeting. We got a motion?
Motion to approve.
Okay, got a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Resolution 24-05, the resolution to annex certain territories and incorporate same within the corporate boundaries of the city of White House, Tennessee. Second reading. Got a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
All right, roll call.
Alderman Matthews,
Aye.
Alderman Silver,
Aye.
Alderman Spicer,
Aye.
Alderman Wall,
Aye.
Mayor Corbett.
Aye. All right, resolution 24-06, resolution authorizing appropriations for financial aid of nonprofit organizations. Got a motion?
Motion to
All
discuss.
right, got a second?
Second.
All right.
Well, this is just our annual contributions that we do for nonprofits, and we've discussed this in our meetings, and the amounts are what we've done in the past, or what we improved this year has been your request. So that's all I have on it.
Yep. Yep. And I noticed it had Alderman Matthews' request, so good. All right. Any other discussion? Got a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Resolution 24-07, an initial resolution authorizing a loan agreement with the Public Building Authority of Sevier County, Tennessee, and a principal amount not to exceed $11 million to finance the construction and improvement of roads, streets, bridges, and highways, and payment of the costs incident to the financing. Got a motion?
Motion to discuss?
All right, second?
Second.
Okay.
Casey, you wanna cover this? This is reference to our 6 projects we're gonna try to get done in our next, we put into our next budget year, so we need to have the funds for that, so, Jason, asking.
Yes, they require resolutions to, start the process to issue this debt. Approximately it's about $10.78 million. The term of it is 12 years. It's a little over $1 million a year in debt service payments. And the intention to raise property tax rate is to cover this payment.
What's the rate on the loan? Said the term, but not the rate.
I'm sorry?
You said the term, but not the rate. What is the rate on the loan?
There is no loan rate just yet. It's just an estimate right now because they have to get the approval of a resolution and they have to advertise. But Raymond James is handling this for us. The estimated rate on this is 3.63.
So these projects are tagged. These are the projects. They're going to go through. It's not going to change.
I mean, they're basically safety issues. Of course, they could have been, situation could have been differently previously. But
Some of them, yep,
yeah.
agree. Some of them probably should have been handled
but
with some of the development. Wasn't.
But it's one of those deals. It is what it is, and we've been handed a bag of really good. We got to deal with it.
Fix it or we don't.
So.
And the rate, the property tax rate will go from. Remind everybody, it'll go from what to what?
I don't have.
We don't have Sumner County.
I don't have certified tax rates for either county.
For either county yet?
No. I would expect to get those hopefully next week, based off of what we went through last year. Because of the reappraisal cycle, we have to go through the reappraisal 2 years in a row out of every 5 years, because each county is on a different cycle. When Robertson County does their reappraisal cycle 1 year, the next year Sumner County does theirs, and then we have 3 years where neither county do a reappraisal. So, like I said, based on last year's, when we got the certified tax rate, because both counties are involved, including the state. So there's a lot of work and a lot of reviewing that has to go back and forth between all of those parties, and then once they get something together, they send it to us to review it. And I did find an error last year in it, so it is good to look over those numbers. And it allowed us to have a lower tax rate than what they were recommending once they revised those numbers.
I don't know if it was your group or Jerry's, somebody had done some sort of off-the-cuff calculations on what it would maybe cost the average taxpayer. It was like, if I recall right, I think it was like $10 a month for the average. I mean, it may be a little more, maybe a little less.
I think so, just from memory. I haven't looked at that recently, but yes, from memory, that seemed like that was right. And those numbers are based on, Derek actually has that on there.
Yeah.
We're looking, I think it was approach 4 is what we wind up going with, is what we're estimating.
So $129
for the year for a $300,000 home.
Right.
So obviously, if your appraisal is less than $300,000, you could expect to be a little less than that. If it's a little bit more, then it would be a little bit more than that.
Yep.
If you break that out per month, it's a little over $10 a month.
Right.
And those numbers are all based off of last year's appraisals.
Right.
So it didn't capture some of the growth that we were going to have in our assessment, which is, new buildings.
Right.
But that's based on the assessment value of the home, not the actual appraisal price. It's based on the tax assessment.
Well, I'm sorry, what's that?
Based on the tax assessment of the home, right?
Yes.
Right, okay.
Yes, are you talking about this $129 here? That's based on a home, yes. That's not based on commercial. So commercial's going to be more expensive than that. But we feel like we answered more questions from residential about that than we do commercial. So that's why we put together numbers for residential.
When when do you anticipate the principal and interest payments to start for this if we approve it?
I think our first principal would be due, June of '25. So the first year, within a year from now. Interest payments are semi-annual, so they'll be, due December of this year, of '24, and June of '25.
So it says June 25, what she's got in her chart.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think, I can't speak for everybody, but I don't think any of us are giddy about raising property taxes, but the fact is we've got the situation, we're in the situation we're in, and I mean, I figure we can do one of two things. We can wring our hands and complain about it, or we can do something about it. And I think citizens expect us to solve problems, and not just point out the obvious. I hate doing it, but we've got to get some of these projects done, or else somebody's going to end up getting killed.
Yeah, and I think when people ask you about, well, what about the growth in the city, isn't that bringing more funds in? It is, but that's helping take care of, the general fund and all the inflationary aspects of that we're dealing with, adding new employees as we're growing, and obviously pay increases each year, health insurance goes up. So we haven't had to ask for any tax increase for our general operations. The last time it was basically for the rec center.
Right.
And this one is for these 6 road projects.
And how many tax increases have we had in the last 20 years?
2 in 20 years.
2 in 20 years.
There's one in 2021.
Yeah. And then this special rate.
No, it wasn't. It was part of the rec center.
Part of it.
But it was operating expenses as well.
So,
Yeah, I agree. The safety issues that are associated with these projects, it's pretty much said itself. We need to handle the issue. We could put it out to referendum, but I think it needs to be addressed sooner rather than later.
Agreed. Any other discussion?
I think it needs to be done. I hate to do it, but
I do too.
the city is just jam-packed with roads, and it's not gonna get any better with construction, but there will be a 3-year window, right?
Yep,
And it's gonna
these
be done.
will all be done in 3 years. So, and the intent of the board is after the 12-year bond is paid off, obviously I can't find a future board, but the intent for us is to reduce the rate. Once the loan's paid off, take it back, so. So you guys out there, I'm not gonna be here in 12 years, but remind the board at the time that was the intent, so.
hope we win the lottery between now and then.
You are being video recorded.
Well, it is documented in the minutes that that was the intent.
Yeah, that's what we want, that's our intent. All right, any other discussion? We got a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Resolution 24-08, a loan resolution authorizing a loan agreement with the Public Building Authority of Sevier County, Tennessee, in a principal amount not to exceed $11 million to finance the construction and improvement of roads, streets, bridges, and highways, and payment of the costs incident to the financing. Got a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Resolution 24-09, a resolution approving certain amendments and revisions to the personnel manual. Got a motion?
Motion to discuss.
Right. Second. Amanda?
This year, there are very few recommendations for changes to the personnel manual that I'm bringing to the board. The first change is a change in the organizational chart. The only change with that was the splitting of public services and wastewater into 2 separate official departments, which, as you know, we're already operating this way, but we waited until June to bring it to you along with the other changes. The second request is for overtime pay specifically related to the police officers. The first one is changing it from 84 hours to 80 hours in a 14-day work period. And the second one is any grant-funded overtime, which is in reference to the THSO grant, be paid at $65 an hour rather than $50 an hour.
Why the change from 84 to 80 hours?
That is actually, we are thinking of that as a recruiting tool because of how low the police, or how many vacancies the police department has, and it's not just us, it's around everywhere right now. We are looking for any unique way we can to draw people in. That is something that I know that Chief Brady brought to our attention, a couple years ago, and it's something that we've been kicking around for a while on doing.
I mean, most workplaces, if you work more than 40 hours, it's overtime, so.
FLSA only requires us to pay anything over 86, but we feel that given how much time they spend in court, especially night officers who are giving up their days off to attend court and that kind of thing, this would compensate them a little bit more fairly. And of course, THSO is 100% grant funded, so there's no cost. It's just a pass-through. And the last change is just a change in the personnel action form. It was just restructured to a little bit to make it easier for us entering pay information into the system, so we aren't having to put sticky notes on the forms to know exactly what needs to be entered. So that's the only change that was made to that.
What changes did you make to the org chart? I noticed we added wastewater separately.
That's the only change, yes, sir. Just split that off into a separate department.
Okay.
The top of the org chart did not change.
No, sir.
Citizens of White House. As it should be. All right, we got a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consideration of the following ordinances. Ordinance to amend the zoning map from Sumner County Residential to General Commercial C2 at 170 Old Highway 31W. Second reading. Got a motion?
Motion to approve.
Okay, we got a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Alderman Matthews.
Aye.
Alderman Silver.
Aye.
Alderman Spicer.
Aye.
Alderman Wall.
Aye.
Mayor Corbett.
Aye. Ordinance 24-05, an ordinance to de-annex certain territories within the corporate boundaries of the city of White House, Tennessee. Second reading. Got a motion?
Motion to approve.
Got a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Alderman Matthews.
Aye.
Alderman Silver.
Aye.
Alderman Spicer.
Aye.
Alderman Wall.
Aye.
Mayor Corbett.
Aye. Ordinance adopting the annual budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2024 and ending June 30th, 2025. Second reading. Got a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Roll call.
Alderman Matthews.
No.
Alderman Silver.
No.
Alderman Spicer.
Yes.
Alderman Wall.
Yes.
Mayor Corbett.
Aye. Ordinance 24-07, an ordinance amending the municipal code, Title 18, Chapter 3, sewer rates, fees, and charges, Section 18-301, first reading.
Motion to discuss.
Second.
First.
Second?
Second. Sorry.
Yep.
So as this board is aware, annually, the sewer department, we raise our sewer user fees by 3%. Jerry, how many years has that policy?
10 years, probably, close to that. You might know better than me, but right around that time.
I did a back of the envelope calculation earlier today. That would be, I'm estimating somewhere in the $200,000 to $250,000 range for revenues coming in the next coming year, as opposed to what it would be if we did not do the 6% increase. As you all are aware, infrastructure is aging, infrastructure is growing and needing additional capacity. Our personnel, we're adding more folks every year, and this just helps cover those operating expenses in addition to the inflationary issues that we deal with products and installation.
And explain why we do this as far as it relates to the state and the requirements for the state as far as revenues and expenses and...
Yes. So we try to maintain a minimum of 30% revenues exceeding operating expenses every year. That's across the board with all city departments. With wastewater, we also have tremendous capital expenditures that don't necessarily fall into that 30% rule, but we still have to keep that in mind and make sure that we don't deplete our fund balance below a sustainable level for any future capital projects that we have on our radar within the next, we do a 6-year capital project list, but even 10 years after.
Right. And what happens if that depletes down to a certain, do we risk anything with the state?
Potentially. So if we end up with massive infrastructure shortfalls, treatment plant needing an additional expansion, collection system needing additional expansion, or even repairs with some of the aging infrastructure that we have, if we drop below the ability to fund that, either we don't fix it or we have to take out debt service in order to do so. And there are some serious regulatory repercussions that could come down if our infrastructure fails and we do not do anything to fix it.
Depreciation, have we started depreciating the new wastewater treatment plant yet? Or that, when we commission it, will that start?
It's not in service yet.
Okay.
It's still not being depreciated, but once it does, you'll see a significant impact in depreciation.
Okay.
When is it going to be in service?
So So it is operating now, but we have not reached the substantial completion stage of it. The contractor is still required to take care of several, not just punch list items, but critical functionality items before it'll hit substantial completion.
Okay.
Actually, we just rejected their request for substantial completion earlier today.
All right. Any discussion? Or motion?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Ordinance 24-08, an ordinance amending the municipal code Title 8, Chapter 2, beer, sections 8-207 and 8-214, first reading. Got a motion?
Motion to
All
discuss.
right, second?
Second.
All right.
Barry, you want to talk about this one?
Yeah.
You and I talked about it.
So we're changing two sections of the ordinance. One is, the application fee. It stated that they had to pay a cashier's check. So we've been actually turning away people to pay their application without, even if they had a credit card or a check, we returned them away because they didn't have a cashier's check. So we're striking that line so that way they can pay, however they would like. The second is the privilege tax. It was kind of confusing on when the privilege tax was supposed to be due. So we were just kind of cleaning that up to be February 1st is when, prior to February 1st is when it should be due. So they have until the end of December till February 1st to pay that. And that was it.
Any discussion? Got a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Purchasing to approve or reject the bid from Key Heating and Cooling in the amount of $27,900 annually and allow a city administrator, Gerald Herman, to execute a 3-year agreement for HVAC preventative maintenance for all city-owned facilities. The Administrative Services Director recommends approval. Motion?
Motion to discuss.
All right, second?
Second.
Eric, if yours,
So every year we do a bid for HVAC preventative maintenance. This year a committee was formed to review all the proposals. As you will see in the packet, there was a couple of bids that were thrown out just because they didn't have the correct information. So the committee reviewed 3 of them. Lee and Key were the top 2 out of the proposals reviewed. It honestly came down to price. Just based on the committee feedback, we usually use Lee. Lee usually comes in cheaper, but this time he came in cheaper. And so we're just going to give them a chance this year to see if they...
So this will also cover the new building that isn't finished yet, the rec building?
The rec center building, I don't think won't include that until it's up and running.
Right, but this is a 3-year contract, so is
Yes,
that
but
gonna...
we'll have to do an addendum to do that, to add on to it. We did the same thing for this building
Okay.
a couple years ago.
Derek, when they do the preventive maintenance, do we have a form that they fill out and give back to us, or do we kind of just go by their word that they're doing it? I mean, we've got a lot of units, and we want to make sure that it's being done.
Well, Lee Company, we don't have a specific form, but Lee Company, they had inspections that they would send out to us with video showing what they did. If there was any issue, they would point that out. And each department got that. With Key, we would have to, once we get in there and start implementing it, if they have their own form or anything like that, or if not, we'll definitely create one.
Is that price lock, that's for 3 years, or is that an annual?
That's annually.
Yeah. Same for 3
So
years.
it's same for 3 years.
Within the hospital.
Right, add the rec center, sure.
How many total units we got?
A lot.
It's a list.
Yeah,
That's the list, there's a lot.
Yeah.
All right, any other discussion? Got a motion?
motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. To approve or reject single source request for fiscal year 2024 to 2025, the wastewater director recommends approval. All right, motion?
Motion to discuss.
A second?
Second.
All right, Travis?
All right, so every year we bring a list of sole source vendors that we utilize. Sole source and single source essentially just means that these are the only vendors in the area that carry either a very specific product that no other product will work in the application, or that it is the vendor that is the only approved vendor by the product manufacturer to distribute that product in this area. This list has expanded from previous years, namely due to the wastewater treatment plant expansion project. Several new vendors have gotten added that are the sole source reps for products that we previously didn't have a need for, but we will now. And I will point out, I do have at least 2 more vendors that I'll have to add to this list this coming month that have not provided us with their confirmation letters on who their sole source suppliers were. We have those in hand now, but they didn't make the deadline for this particular month.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
All right, second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Other business, to approve or reject subdivision infrastructures and street acceptance for Concord Springs Phase 2. The Planning and Codes Director recommends approval. For a motion?
Motion to discuss.
All right, second?
Second.
We have thoroughly vetted, and everything is up to par.
100%, huh?
100%.
Okay.
And all of their lights have been addressed, the solar lights.
Yes.
All the lights are working and the batteries are
That's my story,
present,
he's sticking
the
to it.
remotes are there.
Yeah, everything.
Yes, that's good.
All right.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. To approve or reject the library board chair to enter into the Tennessee State Library and Public Library Service Agreement. The library director recommends approval.
Motion to
All
discuss.
right, second?
Second.
This is the service agreement we sign every year with the state. It basically outlines what the state will provide to us and what we have to provide to them as far as statistics, policies, and so forth. So again, we're meeting all those requirements, and they give us quite a bit of resources for doing that. So I definitely recommend approval.
Motion to approve.
Second? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Yep, thank you. To approve or reject appointments to various boards and commissions.
I would say motion to approve.
Okay. Second?
Second.
Any discussion about any of them? All right, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. No discussion items. We are adjourned.
I'll walk my neighborhood.